rouses itself. They wake up. As you stretch and look around, you wonder where Pedwin went.
You guys see where Pedwin went?
No.
I have not.
Maybe he went back to the elves. Onward!
He's dead.
So
He's dead, let's move on.
He's dead.
the
to
party
makeover.
woke up, and there's some vertical element to the lights that's coming in, and you get the sense it's you're not really that early into the morning. You're probably like mid-morning now. Is anybody gonna do anything? Are you guys marching out? And if so, what's the marching order?
Really
This-
quick.
Pedwin shits on the ground, right?
There is a small bag of stuff that is on the ground.
So noticing this, Big Mo notices it. He notices it, right?
He notices it.
Maybe Big Mo didn't go, or maybe Pedwin didn't go to the elves. Maybe he got taken by lizard people, and we just didn't notice. Maybe he was the only one light enough to take.
You make a survival check.
And I do not have disadvantage now.
You do not.
Ah, shit.
Mindardus, can you make a survival check?
Yep, he was definitely taken by the lizard people. Definitely. These
Portent.
footprints, those are definitely lizard people footprints. They may look like boots, but those are lizard people.
The lizard people have learned to wear boots to disguise their footprints.
Not good either.
Damn.
Do I get
Mindardus,
check?
you're not able to determine a whole
Mindardus.
lot from these footprints,
Mindardus,
but you
come over
can
here.
you
Look
can
at these
recognize
footprints.
that
These
there
are
are no lizard
Definitely
lizard folk
lizard people,
footprints
right?
in this
I
area.
agree.
Operating under the assumption that Pedwin has been kidnapped by the nefarious lizard folk,
We
the
should get
party
the elves' help.
ventures out.
We should get the elves' help.
I'll carry
Who's going
Pedwin's.
first?
His
What's the
robe.
marching order?
I'll carry Pedwin's stuff for when we rescue him. I shall lead the way.
This is the best.
I'll bring up the rear.
While we're doing that, HPG,
What's
what was
up?
the robe called?
The rope?
Robe
Robe.
Oh,
that I'm
yeah.
wearing.
I'll create a little infographic for it later, but
Okay.
just for now you can add +1 to your AC.
AC
And-
while it's going. Okay, cool.
All right. And the party ventures forth. You continue down the pathways that the group has taken to get here, and it's before you were proceeding pretty cautiously, and it took several hours. So going back this time, it doesn't take quite as long.
Boats and hoes may break my toes.
Honos, after having leave the area that you initially landed in, did you want to search for anything, or did you just head straight out following the footprints?
I'm going to try. I'm just going to wander. Since I have no idea where I am, I'm just going to wander in a random direction as quietly as I can.
Alrighty. As you are wandering about, you begin to hear a small murmur of conversation.
I swear, if those were lizard people, I will bash their faces in.
Or something to that effect.
I come up quietly, trying to catch a glimpse of what I'm looking at, what I'm hearing.
Okay, make a stealth check.
18. I have +8.
Goddamn. Well, I'm pretty sure that beats everybody's passive perception. So
I don't know.
Honos,
I have pretty good perception.
your passive perception is not 18.
How do you tell what your passive perception is?
Just look
Oh,
at the
okay,
number
yeah,
in blue.
see. Yeah, no, it's not.
Dude, I have a 19.
For your passive perception is 19.
No.
I was thinking like, I'm pretty sure I could check the stats, but I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I closed that. I'm so stupid.
I'm just gonna follow the humanoids. See if they lead me somewhere that's not
I-
here.
The humanoids?
The peoples.
So Honos, you are
Okay.
rather quietly and carefully following the group of individuals. You can't really get a good view of it, but you can hear from some of the voices that there is at least one child. Morris, as you are continuing back along the path that the group of you took to get here, you remember discovering this area because I think you took point on the way in, so you're able to backtrack fairly easily. You come across the stalks of mushroom, the kind of the roots, for lack of a better term, of the kind of fungal presence in the forest.
I remember these.
And the group passes by. You as you're heading back, or as you are backtracking, you begin to gradually hear the sound of water rushing, and the gradually growing louder and louder and louder as the party continues down these winding and twisting pathways that seem to cut off a lot of lines of sight. To be very easy to get lost here if you got separated. And you are standing before the river, or the rivers, I should say, where you encountered that creature.
Do I see any pretty women?
You don't see anybody.
An illusion.
Okay, gang, let's cross the river.
Alrighty, how are you going to get across the river? Is everybody just
I'm
going to jump, or?
I'm gonna jump. Attempt to jump.
Make an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Yes, this applies to everybody, by the way.
I'm gonna jump too, and I'm gonna use my newfound dexterity.
I'm definitely rolling athletics.
Unless anybody wanted to try a different way of crossing the river.
My newfound dexterity is consistent.
Do I think the girl's gonna have any issues crossing the river?
I will.
Can I ask before I jump if she thinks she'll have issues crossing the river?
She kind of looks out across the river and looks back at you and says, "Well, I'm gonna try. I think I can."
If anything happens, I'll dive in and help you.
Okay. And with that, she just basically rears back and takes a running start and just leaps out across the river. As she is mid-air, as she kind of takes off and is in mid-air, her arms and legs just kind of kicking back and forth, getting whatever additional momentum she can possibly get. She lands on the embankment on the opposite side and like slips a little bit in the mud, but manages to catch herself and pull herself up.
Okay. I don't give a fuck about Arun. I know he can turn into a fucking bear.
Urun, who has no problem, just runs and leaps, clears the whole river. Not an issue for him.
I tap Mo on the shoulder and I go, "That kid can turn into a bear?
What?
Arun can turn into a bear?"
You figure that out just by looking at him?
That's what you just said.
I didn't say that.
I don't think
Oh.
Mo said that. That was just Steve-O talking.
Oh, okay. Well, my bad. I don't know.
It was Steve
No, that's
Mo.
fine. That's fine. Steve-O's
Mo.
character voice is very, very close to his real life voice. There's
I
subtle
don't try to
differences. You
change-
have to listen.
I don't try to change my voice.
Shh. So the party just kind of rears back and leaps forward. On the takeoff, Theon, your foot catches a bit of kind of loose rock and dirt, and you don't get quite the push off you were hoping to get. And in your brand new robes, you manage to make it most of the way across the river, but your foot starts to catch, and you kind of hit some of the water, which then rapidly slows you down. And you make it to the other side. Your hands dig into the soft earth on the opposite side, but your lower body is pretty much immersed in water.
But I am on the embankment, or I am barely on the embankment.
You are on the other side. You just have to haul yourself up.
I'm gonna
Obviously, you have no issue. Does a bit of a back handspring and just leaps over it.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Honos, what are you doing?
I'm gonna make my way to the edge of the river and say hello there. Hello.
From
Does
A voice from
anybody
behind the
else
group of
see
you.
That?
Hmm?
I'm just talking to my party.
what are you
This
saying?
is-
to your
What?
party?
Because this is where we saw the one floaty chick. If nobody else sees it, then I'm gonna think it's the bitch again.
Well, as the group of you turn on a heel to confront the sudden voice behind you, you see standing there. Go ahead and describe yourself, Honos.
You see an old man, looks a little frail, but not unhealthy. Dressed in fine robes, doesn't appear to be armed, doesn't appear to be armored. Just standing there smiling at you pleasantly.
That guy is a little creepy.
I point at him and yell, "Did you take Pedwin?" What do you mean?
Just trying to make pleasant conversation. I was considering following you more quietly, but I'm a little afraid I might not make this jump. Trying to get out of wherever this is.
Oh.
How did you get here?
Oh, the wrath of the gods. Some
Did you
some aren't
happen-
happy with me, some are happy with me. It's hard to tell who's who.
Did you happen to see Pedwin? He has an issue lighting things on fire.
Did I happen to see Pedwin on my hurtling through the multiverse?
Yes.
You don't know who or what a Pedwin is, but these people seem awfully concerned about it.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen any Pedwins, was it?
Yeah, then I don't give a shit. I turn around and start walking away.
I sigh and try and jump over the river. Well, there's still a chance they might help me.
All right, make an acrobatics or an athletics check. Morris, you've walked away.
Started to.
11.
All right, starting to walk away.
Did
11.
you-
11?
Yeah.
All right.
I like rolling dice.
You
I have mine laid out, but I keep clicking the buttons on the computer instead.
if I request it, then I'll make sure that there are dice rolled on the screen so that I can verify what you get. But for the most part, I'm not going to mind too much. I do dice rolls that don't show up here anyway, so
I'll do combat. I just want to roll the dice. I'll
Okay.
do combat in the game. I just want to roll the dice.
or if I request it. Anyway, so
Yeah.
so Honos, you following in the footsteps of the people you just saw successfully make it, you take a running start and leap off of just a small outcropping of rock, and you careen through the air. As you hit the apex of your jump, you think, yeah, you know what, I might actually just make this. And your feet dig in. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
That's a 23. No, 24. Wait, no.
As you are coming in for your landing,
23.
as you're coming in for your landing, you realize that if you land a certain way, things could go really badly for, certain ankles or knees. So you just kind of you curl up and you change your trajectory, or don't change your trajectory. You change the shape that's going to impact the ground, and you manage to deftly roll out and kind of cancel out some of the momentum as you skid to a small stop at the foot of a teenage boy and a young girl.
I put my hand out to the young boy and I ask him if he might help an old man up.
He looks at you warily for a moment. Let me do this.
I'm very charming.
Actually, why don't you make a persuasion roll?
Very charming.
And he rolled a 2. He reaches out and grips your hand very securely and hauls you up to your feet.
This is a good lad.
With his free hand, gives you a bit of a pat on the shoulder.
I pat him back. Now, my good gentlemen, where are we headed?
It's a good question.
Quiet bunch, aren't we? That's okay. I can deal with that. I'll just have to talk for all of us.
We were trying to talk, but you probably couldn't hear.
The small girl walks up to you and just kind of stands at your feet and looks up into your face. Who are you? She walks over to you and grabs your hand in her hand. Well, me too. And she looks forward, kind of out towards the path that Morris is beginning to walk away along. I don't know where I'm gonna go.
Do I hear them?
You hear this at the kind of edge of your hearing.
I yell out, "You're coming with me!" Ha ha ha.
Lola kind of leads and tugs you by your hand, and the two of you begin to follow Morris.
I shrug my shoulders and kind of nod and head on.
They seem to enjoy your presence. You learn that you are on an island called Rudam, and you're in a forest.
Not for me, he doesn't.
No, he learns from the kids, and you learn that their names are Lola and Urun.
I already knew
Urun is
that.
the teenage boy. What was that? He might be. You'd have to ask him, I suppose.
I run
Mindardus,
up
you gonna take
to
up the rear?
front of the pack, and I let Mo know that our newcomer has pushed through and has taken quite the liking to the two kids.
So he's a pedophile.
Either that or he could be looking.
He's never gonna live that down.
Was he a pedophile in the game?
In Joe's campaign, yes, he did. He did some things and didn't really clearly explain his motivation.
Interesting.
If you charm creature to a little girl, I'd say that's a little questionable.
It's questionable, doesn't-
Especially after you got your testicle chopped off for trying to rape someone or have sex with someone.
I'm gonna slink back towards Mindardus and like watch the newcomer from afar to make sure he doesn't steal the kids off into the wilderness.
All right, so the elf and the half elf are taking up the rear, keeping a watchful eye on the newcomer and Lola, who are still holding each other's hand. Urun is just behind Honos as well, and he's kind of every so often he's just making sure of his surroundings, and he's seemingly keeping a watchful eye as well. So
Can I-
marching order is as
Can
follows.
I motion for Arun to walk up towards me? Next
He
to
kinda
me?
jogs up and runs up next to you. As the two of you are like the whole group is continuing to move now, and so as you're marching through the forest, Arun runs up next to you. Yeah, what's up?
I'm gonna lean over a little, sort of talking in secrecy. I'm gonna ask him, were your abilities affected at all with the stuff the old hag did?
No, I haven't tried them, but I don't think so.
Okay. Just had to
Thing
ask
is-
in case we need them.
I hear you. I haven't fully learned to control it. My brother was teaching me.
Is your brother okay?
I don't know.
Okay.
I went to
Oh.
meet the trader, the one who runs Mason's Rest, and I don't know. I heard a noise and something jumped out at me. It was black after that, and I woke up in that cage. I don't know what that thing was, but she had some kind of plan. Kept talking about blood and magic, and I don't know what the hell.
Sounds
What
like
the
all
hell's
the
with that
crazies.
cage, man?
It sounds like she was a crazy.
Yeah, you say that again.
Yeah, that I'll keep walking.
Well, this whole time the party has been walking. Is anyone else
Well-
having any conversations?
I'll stay in silence though.
Yes.
Someone entered our channel? Oh no, never mind, other channel.
You call out to Arun, and he seems to finish, or he just kind of taps Morris on the shoulder and then backpedals and just kind of slows down until he's side by side with you. Morris, make a survival check. With advantage, because Mendardus could help you. Yeah. Arun has moved up next to you, Honos. All right, are you asking about anything in particular? You find out from, mostly from Lola, but Urun chips in some knowledge every now and then. That the group of you are going back to a village that is mostly populated by elves, and it's where they came after their initial home was destroyed. The old capital city was ruined, and all its populace had to be relocated.
While we're walking, I just want to like make small talk with Mendardus and ask him where he's from, if he's from the island, and perhaps if he grew up and he remembers me.
While this is going on, Big Mo steps to the side to take a piss.
All right.
I have been here for a while, but I didn't grow up here. And no, I don't remember you.
Huh.
I've spent most of my time to myself since I've been on this island.
What brings you back? Or to this island?
After I had a son many years ago, and he was killed on a little adventure we were having, and I kind of needed to escape after that happened, so I found this place, and this is where I've been since then.
My apologies. Did you follow along with them, or are you on your own quest along with them?
I just met them after they arrived here. Actually, I don't even remember where I met them now. In the
Your
town.
first encounter with the party was in the courthouse, and you were
Right.
initially one of the jurors.
Right.
I think actually you were foreman on the jury. 4 elf, 4 person.
Get to hear about all the terrible things we did.
Yep.
It was quite entertaining.
As Mindardus, as you reflect on this, you realize that you remember now where you first saw that robe that Theon is wearing, and you remember when you first saw. Because initially, when the group of you broke into the house, the figure that was there was not the horrid green-skinned creature that you initially felled, or that you eventually felled. It was an elven woman, a beautiful-looking one, and she was wearing that robe that Theon now has. And so you're able to connect that this person that was at the courthouse, she testified against the party. And she claimed that she saw them, or she saw Pedwin start the fires that nearly burned the crossroads down. And you're starting to realize that this person must have had a presence within some of these communities and has gone unnoticed for who knows how long.
Thanks, Drake.
Uh,
Assuming this is what I think it is.
it is, but apparently they've taken a break, so.
Oh. I'll
Yeah.
bookmark it though and keep checking.
Yep.
Happy go travels.
All right, so are you guys just heading straight back to the Elven Village then? Because I just want to make sure that that is where you guys are going.
That's the plan for me, at least. Unless somebody says something else, I'm heading straight to the Elven Village.
I agree. I want to get my hand checked out and get these scars on them checked out as well. You don't want to venture around and have something happen.
All right, as the Morris, I need you to make a survival check with advantage. Or you can make a regular one, and Mindardus, you can make a survival check as well. All right, so it's easy enough for you to be backtracking, Morris. It's not, you're able to generally get the idea after because you remember reaching the river, and you guys have crossed the river, and now when you headed backwards, you pass more of those mushrooms, and you continued along your way until
I'm pretty good at this with my time in the army.
the density of the trees begins to become a little lighter, and you start to leave the area of the forest that was initially pointed out to you by the lizard folk, the seeming ally that you had. He indicated this region of the forest had this dark presence. You now kind of exit from that region of the forest, and you are now near the base of the waterfall that the group of you initially camped out near. There are seemingly no change to the area. The rush of the falls coming down from the roughly 100 to 150 feet so vertical cliff, and it just begins to the pool of water that the waterfall eventually flows into. It just heads in a kind of northwestern direction, just off further into the forest, where there are even more sparse trees, which are kind of darker. They're more gnarled and stunted, and it becomes a little bit more wet and marshy in that area. And the group of you, as you navigate your way towards the river, Ooh, I moved the screen the wrong way. There we go. You come across the log that the group of you used to cross last time. And it's been a little while now, like it's been, more than 24 hours or so since you guys have actually pushed this tree over. And in the time that it's been there, it's kind of been battered a little bit by the flow of the water, and it's getting a little soggy, and it was only just starting to rot before, and it's starting to rot a little bit more significantly now. But it's still there, and it's still crossing the river, forming a bridge.
Do I notice anyone following us?
Make a perception check.
I've been keeping an eye out as well.
More specifically,
Make a perception check as well.
a group of 2 lizard people. I don't know if that rolled. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Nice
good.
rolls.
Yeah, really nice rolls. Dude, does Mo have a... He
Huh?
has a fucking +3 to his wisdom?
I believe it's Constitution it uses, right?
No, it's
No, it's wisdom.
No, perception is wisdom.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
yeah. I'm proficient in perception.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're really, really fucking smart. You're just...
No, it
or,
says
uh,
2 for the
wise.
attribute.
Mo is pretty
The
smart.
2 is proficiency. Is
What the fuck?
wait. Oh yeah,
The D20
yeah.
plus the 3, which is the
Yeah,
proficiency
3 is
bonus, would be
proficiency. I
level
forgot it.
5,
Yeah, I
and
forgot
then
to hit
2 for
level
the
5.
attribute.
My guy's just like a player, and that's all. He's a stupid player.
You are like a specialist, Theon. The things you're good at, you're really good at.
Mo is pretty much
no.
everything but charismatic.
Yeah, Mo is like anti-charisma.
Yeah, we're gonna clash a lot because I have like a +1,000,000 to my charismatic stuff.
So when we go bartering, I'll keep like driving the price up while you'll drive it down.
Oh no, I doubled up on the... Like,
Wait.
let's get out of there, you.
Are you over 20 then?
Who?
Joe.
Over 20 what?
Charisma.
No, I have 18
Years of
charisma.
age.
Oh. Yeah, I'm still fucking top dog, motherfucker.
I think I might order this tankard though, because I like the way it looks. What do you guys think of that? Black. I linked a reference link.
I was looking at that at one point. It just looks too shiny. Looks too much just like a
Yeah,
Shiny
but
and chrome.
I'll order one of the leather ones
So
once
chrome.
the store comes back online.
Here. I'll take a picture and show you what it looks like.
I would much like that. So we
So
rolled
as the-
perception.
Yes, the 2 of you have rolled perception. If anyone else wants to, they can as well, but at this point, those rolls are pretty good. As you look out over the relatively sparse plain that rolls out, and eventually, as the forest begins to thin out, it's not a very high density of trees on this side of the river. They seem to basically have stopped. Or the really dense forest is still constrained to the cliff that is about 150 feet up. And so down here, the soil is not as rich. It's more rocky until it becomes that more marshy area that's further to the north. As you are looking out there, Morris, you step up and kind of put your hand over your eyes, or just above your eyes to block the sun. And as you do this, a small red figure begins to just enter the corner of your vision, and you look over and you see this newcomer who's also peering out into the distance. And as you look back, the 2 of you drop down into the long grass in this area because a group of roughly 8 dark-skinned figures begin to emerge from a small cluster of trees and begin to trace a straight line path across this area, about 2 miles or so to the north of you. No, less than 2 miles at this distance. This would be closer to... No, this would be a lot closer. This is like half a mile, or I'd say like 3/4 of a kilometer.
Ooh, that looks good. I gotta order one of those. So they're not coming towards us. They're going away from us.
They're crossing this opening just further into the marshy areas. They seem to be sticking into more of the areas that are waterlogged, and so don't leave track of any kind. They're like, you can see that all their feet are immersed in very very shallow water.
Okay.
But they are not heading towards the group. No.
Okay. So I guess we'll continue onward. They don't seem interested in us.
I'm gonna
On
ask.
the next map.
Oh fuck! I didn't even bring you guys over here. I'm so dumb.
I'm gonna ask Big Mo what those things were.
Did I recognize them?
You recognize them? They were lizard folk.
Oh,
Sorry,
they're
I
lizard
didn't realize I
folk.
left you on the previous page.
Easy to die. So I don't really give a shit about them.
And I nod and smile and says, "That's a nice axe you're carrying there." He's
I
carrying
like
an axe, right?
He's carrying an axe. It has a beautifully inlaid design across the blade. It appears to be a series of overlapping leaves that were somehow embossed into this metal. You're not really sure of the handiwork.
I like it. It hurts.
Can I check around to see
bet
if
it
there's
does.
any sign of that lizard man who ran off?
That's what I was looking
Oh.
for when I rolled the perception.
Then I want Morris and Theon to roll investigation.
Yeah, he ran off to the
We lost him when we were
east.
staying inside the tower.
which
because
is like right here.
He went to go watch for us.
Oh, he probably did then.
I wouldn't say so. He seemed pretty quick.
The two of you look around for any kind of marking or indication of where the lizard folk that you interact with before. He actually, no, you know what? I don't think he ever said his name, so never mind. And you are unfortunately unable to find any kind of indication or a sign in the immediate vicinity that he may have been there or left for you.
Oh well.
So, the group of you have amassed on one side of the river, and the cluster of lizard folk are not looking in this direction, but there is nothing that there's nothing blocking your line of sight to them. They just haven't looked in this direction.
Oh, like I give a fuck. Let's go ahead and cross the river, guys. We'll be okay.
All right, make a anyone that's climbing across the tree, make a dexterity check.
Distance of the river?
Should be roughly 10 feet at this point.
I do have.
Okay, well.
So we're rolling dexterity. I do have danger sense, which gives me advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects that can be seen.
That is a saving throw. This is an ability check.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I don't care then. I'll take my 15. I'll take it and I'll like it. This gets a lot more fun when you start drinking.
I'm glad I am the entertainment clown.
I'm not
Wow.
saying, I'm not trying to like downplay your DMing HPG. I'm just saying it. I don't know.
No, hey man, the
Like, it's
alcohol helps
easier-
me too. It helps me to
It-
just like keep rolling with it. I hope
Yeah.
you guys are not bored. I really, really do.
I'm enjoying myself. I enjoyed my 15 minutes alone with you.
I think I'm at like a I think I'm at like a 0.2. So I'm having fun.
A 0.2 would mean that roughly 20% of your blood is alcohol. I think you might mean a 0.02.
But that's still a lot.
0.2%.
Oh, I see what you mean. You mean 0.2%.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad people are enjoying it. I'm having a great time. So as everyone is crossing this log,
Except Theon. Licks the fucking thing.
as everyone is crossing this log, so the majority of the party is able to make it across without incident. I think Mindardus and Theon were taking up the rear, so the only person on the north side of the river at this point is Mindardus. He let Theon go first. Just in front of Theon was Urun, and as the two of them are crossing, the log itself actually just breaks underneath their weight, because there was more than one person on it at the same time, and it just collapses into the river. And Theon, being closer to the northern edge of the river, you would be capable of trying to get to the coast pretty easily. Urun, however, just charges forward and swims his way through the river and makes it to the other side without too much difficulty, hauling himself up and then pulling himself up about the roughly 1 meter or so of embankment to this flowing river. Theon, are you going to, or what are you going to do?
How shallow is the water? Am I looking like a retard trying to swim to the other end, and it's only like 2 feet?
It is deep enough that your feet do not touch the bottom currently. You are floating in the water, and the current is slowly pushing you downriver.
Okay,
Can I use my
I'll-
danger sense to realize that this has
that
happened
way?
and run up and reach my hand in to grab him?
I'll just
Okay,
swim
so
to the
you are on
shore.
this side.
Yeah.
Okay, so while this has happened, so the way this unfolded is the log broke and Theon and Urun were dropped into the river. Urun spent the next few seconds swimming as hard as he could to get to the embankment on the south side of the river, and Theon has currently been swept downstream about 15 or so feet.
I'd love to help,
course.
but my bad back doesn't let it.
Give me your cane, asshole.
Yeah,
So Morris, you can turn around and you do hear the log break, but you see all this unfold. And
Can
you are
I,
now free to
Can I
act.
swim harder?
can I start running downstream and pull the rope out of my back?
Oh.
I think I have a rope in an
Oh,
explorer's
can I?
pack.
Can I mage
You can do that.
hand Mo and tap him on the shoulder?
I
like-
saw you. You don't need to
Oh,
mage
okay.
hand me. I think the explorer's pack has a rope. So
I
assuming
believe it does.
Assuming it does, I'm gonna pull it out as quickly as I can and throw one end towards what's his name?
Theon.
Theon?
Yeah,
I
sure.
need an athletics check from Theon, and I need
I'm not catching it.
Can I get athletics too?
Can I quickly do a
you need to not only
perception
make
check
an
to
athletics
sure I
check, you
see
also
it?
need to make an attack roll, like a distance attack roll, to see if you can make it to.
So athletics and attack roll.
Yes, an athletics and a distance attack roll. Now, Honos and Mindardus, you can decide to do something if you want. Mindardus, you are also stuck on the north side of the river. You need to
Well-
find a way across.
What would my attack roll
Jump,
be?
it's 10 feet.
I think you have like javelin and stuff, don't you?
So should I just roll javelin?
Roll javelin and take away 3 because you are not proficient with like lassos.
Okay, so
So that would be a
14.
14.
14.
I might have
I'd
been
cheer
better
them
off
on.
just tying. I probably would have been better off just tying the rope to the javelin and throwing it through Drek.
That
Spirit
might
give it
have
to-
actually been better, but I believe that Theon's AC is 14. So Theon, as you are, so are you swimming to the north or are you swimming to the south?
I am swimming to the south.
All right. So as you begin to make your way across the river, you see the large human form of Morris beginning to run alongside the river, and he reaches into his pouch and he tosses out the end of a rope, which careens outwards and slaps down onto the surface of the water just in front of you. You reach out and take a hold of it. I'm assuming.
That depends on if I have to make a roll for a perception check to see if I can see the damn rope.
No, you saw Morris run up. You saw him throw the rope.
Are you sure? Because I bet you if I roll, it'll give me a 1.
Well, that's why you're not having to roll.
Good man. So yes, I grab the rope.
Do I need to roll a strength check to pull him in?
You bet your ass you do.
Okay, let me find strength.
Here comes the 20.
Strength check.
Also, Drac, you didn't roll your athletics check.
Oh, was I supposed to?
Yes, you were, because you were swimming through the river.
I got a 10.
All right, so the combination of Theon's kicking and paddling with his free arm overcomes the weight of the saturated clothing that he wears, and Morris just hauling on the rope is able to pull him not only out of the river, but straight up the embankment edge and up to his feet on solid earth, standing in front of Morris himself.
I'll start to wrap the rope up with the over-under method.
Morris begins to wrap up his rope.
I clap happily and say, "Good show, good show."
Can I try and jump across?
Certainly you can. I need you to make an athletics or an acrobatics check.
The rope's not put away yet. I'm still wrapping it up.
Mindardus, you step backwards and you take another running leap, and pretty much having had this exact experience a little while ago, almost like a warm-up, you are able to a little bit more, but this being a slightly further gap, you are able to leap across the river, and you do manage to land just on the edge of the embankment, not quite up. You didn't quite cross the embankment itself because it does slope downwards, but you're able to just easily and rather deftly haul yourself up the side of the riverbed, and you are standing on the land just in front of the newcomer that arrived this morning. Lola excitedly claps at seeing the whole party amassed on this side and successfully making it through.
I give her a thumbs up.
She smiles and gives you a thumbs up.
Yeah, it makes
You are
my
now
day.
on. You are now on the south side of the river. Before you is the cliff that the party previously scaled to get down here. Honos, you are seeing this for the first time. You are standing before a large, roughly 130 foot vertical face upwards with various rock outcroppings that break the relatively homogeneous stone surface that forms this shelf of cliff that extends off both to the west and to the east.
I climb up it.
Okay, I need you to... Wait, you're just gonna, like, straight climb the cliff?
Yeah.
Do you have any, like, climbing equipment or anything?
I have an explorer's pack. Which has stuff in it. I'll have to look up what it has, but it has stuff in it.
Has a crowbar and a hammer, I think.
EX. Mo was in the army. He has some free climbing experience.
Where are we right now? Are we?
Oh,
Plus,
okay.
He has big muscles, so he can haul himself up. He can haul.
Oh, I
pretty good.
don't doubt that Mo might be capable of this climb. Actually, I guess you didn't necessarily go to exactly the point that the group of you climbed down. You're just... It's just
how
high
is the mountain?
The cliff face is roughly 130 feet. It varies in height at certain points.
How long is the rope in the explorer's pack?
It should be 50 feet.
50 feet. Who all has explorer packs?
I don't have an explorer pack, but I have a
Who
adventure
has
pack.
Who
and I
has
have rope.
rope?
I do.
I have rope.
Okay, are any of you good at tying knots? I'm pretty proficient in survival, so I'm gonna tie knots in the ropes to make it a long 150-foot rope, or whatever.
I know knots as well.
All right. Can I have? I'll just have the two of you roll for survival, unless one of you just wants to give the other advantage. That's how it works. You either both make an attempt, or one person aids the other.
Alright, I'll help Mo.
All right, Morris, make a survival check with advantage.
I just did.
Oh, yes, I see. You are able to bind the 3 lengths of rope, all roughly 50 feet across, and you're able to pull it taut, and you test the rope itself. You toss one end to Mindardus, and the two of you pull on both ends, and it feels pretty secure, and you're both reasonably satisfied.
All right. I'm gonna attempt to free climb the cliff with the rope tied to me.
All right, are you going to, are you just going to straight climb the cliff face, or are you going to try and, make your way back up the way you came down?
Is there a difference?
Well, the way you guys came down is you moved from large rock outcropping to rock outcropping, almost like kind of hopping from shelf to shelf. But if you're going to just climb, you're just going to straight, scale with no breaks 130 feet up.
I guess I'll do outcropping to outcropping.
All right, can I get you to make an athletics and an acrobatics check?
You could climb this up the same way I got down.
So athletics.
Oh boy, I'm gonna give a live sports commentary as he climbs.
And acrobatics.
Yes.
Ugh.
All right, so it takes the better part of... I'm going to say it takes the better part of 2 hours, but Honos providing accurate yet slightly cutting commentary, a mild critique of the form of Morris as he begins to scale his way up the rocks, and he has got no problem climbing between the rocks themselves. Anywhere it just comes to raw strength, he's got no problem. But when it comes to actually trying to leap from one outcropping to another, he does have a bit of difficulty, almost slipping at one point, which everyone is brought to the edge of their proverbial seats by Honos's commentary. However, he eventually makes his way to the very top. You didn't say you were carrying the rope, but I'm assuming you were. So
yeah,
you're
I said
you're
I
up
tied
there.
it to
You have
myself
the
when I
rope.
climbed.
And-
I'm up there with the rope, and
Yes.
I'm gonna tie one into a tree, let the rope hang down, and when someone goes to climb up it, I'm gonna anchor the rope with my own weight as well as having it tied to a tree.
All right. Who is climbing the rope first?
I'll give them a thumbs up so they know the rope is good to climb up. That I'm prepared and ready.
All right.
There isn't another way up, is there?
Make a perception check.
How do you erase?
You do not see anywhere that you can climb. You should be able to highlight things with the mouse, and then just there'll be a little box around it, and then just delete it.
How do you erase things?
Press the delete button.
The
Yeah,
delete
just
button.
once you highlight it.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can move it.
Well, I can. Yes, you should be able to as well. All right. So, Honos, you do not see any other way up this cliff. This right here is probably the easiest way you can feasibly get to, at least as far as eyesight is concerned.
I sigh, and I'm not looking forward to climbing it.
Who's going first?
I will climb the rope first.
All right. Make an athletics check with advantage.
Can I also tell him to pull the rope up while I'm climbing to give me double advantage?
Oh no, that's why you have advantage. Is because
Oh,
Morris
okay.
is pulling.
Damn. You said athletics?
Yes, athletics. That looks like it took a little while to draw. Like you might have had to make a couple revisions to that partway through.
What did you draw?
He just drew a dude with a huge dong.
It went down
Okay.
to his knees.
Oh my god, it's double digits, guys. It's the change of a century.
It's an 11.
So Theon, thankfully it's not too difficult to climb a rope, and you're able to periodically use some of the knots that are every 50 feet.
While you
to
guys are
take a
rolling,
short-
I'm gonna use the bathroom.
to
You
take
can
a
keep
short
going.
rest, and slowly you're brought up to the top of the cliff through mostly your own power, but also some effort
Yeah.
on Morris's part.
You
He
got
hauls
some
you up and you
motivation.
stand solidly on the ground.
He got some motivation.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Locomotion.
I liked it. All right, who's climbing next?
I can go last.
I'll go.
All right. Honos, you're up next. Make an athletics check.
Oh boy. Was that with advantage?
Yes, it's with advantage because Morris is helping.
Okay.
All right, you two you don't have too much difficulty. You're a little winded by the time you reach the top, but thanks to Morris's efforts, you reach the top pretty successfully. It doesn't take very long either, and you stand at the top of the cliff. Being able to look a little further out now, you can see that what stands before you at the cliff is a much more dense forest. This is a lot more lush. There is a combination of deciduous and coniferous trees, and the whole area is the whole earth in this area is just quite rich with the gradual shedding of leaves of all of these trees. And what lies before you is not an old growth forest, but there are definitely some fairly old trees here. And as you look out across the cliffs, you can see that the marshy area you spotted before, it extends much, much further out to the north. And while the trees are more sparse, there is still enough density to them to block sight of some of the patches of land. And there you only see amongst the trees are small kind of small ponds or I would say either a large pond or like a small lake, just bodies of water. That seem to have clearings and lines of trees that just weave in and amongst them.
I pat
right.
Big Mo on the back and say, "Thank you, good man."
He nods and not saying anything, uttering but a grunt. Oh, he's back. Okay. All right. So Lola goes next, and as she gets about halfway up the rope, you can see that she's starting to struggle a little bit, and then she just stops moving and is kind of just holding herself very, very tightly up against the rope and isn't moving anymore.
Does she look afraid or tired?
A bit of both.
Try and cheer her on. Look up at me, dear.
Make a persuasion roll.
Wham. Wham.
You're able to catch her eye, and with a calmness and an assurance in your voice that is empowering not only to you but everybody at the top of the cliff that hears this, they perk up a little bit as well. And Morris, who was starting to get a little bit tired of all this pulling, he finds himself a little bit more invigorated, a little bit more willpower behind his movements, and he's able to successfully just haul up the rest of this rope. Lola having to expend very little energy at this point, and he just picks up the rope and he's just holding the rope up with Lola hanging by the end of it and just staring at her until she until she lets go and then lands with a soft impact in the dirt at the top of the
Buddy,
cliff.
you can have all my rolls for as far as I can. Okay, could I have my character back because I accidentally deleted him while trying to remove a playing card?
A brand new Theon. He's enormous. Okay. So Honos, you're up here as
Yay.
well. Lola's up here. Urun has no problem climbing the rope. And Mindardus, when you're ready, I'll need you to make an athletics check. As Minardus, as you are climbing your way up to the top of the rope, you realize that there's no way for you to get your cat up here. So you climb back down, and as soon as you are within distance, Cat just leaps up and just latches onto one of your legs, his claws just kind of digging into the leather, and it hurts. And you find yourself having a lot of a harder time trying to climb the rope because you can't really use one leg, you can't clasp it around the rope. And as you're making your way up, you're about halfway up the rope now. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I hate those words.
As you are hauling yourself up, you pass about the 2/3 mark. You've got past the second knot in the rope, and you're starting to slow down a little bit. But eventually, your muscles burn, your back and your arms, your shoulders, all of it is just getting really, really worked. But you slowly, and with the aid of Morris pulling the rope up, you do manage to make it to the top of the cliff. And as you reach the top, you grab with one arm and you pull yourself up, and you realize that was like the last of the energy you had in most of your upper body, and you suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Who
Oh
does?
snap!
Who suffers
Mindardus
exhaustion?
suffers 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay, good.
Actually, no, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as well, Morris.
Me?
Yes,
vast.
you helped like 6 people up this rope
I was just an anchor.
after climbing the thing yourself.
I was an anchor alongside the tree.
You had to help us weaklings up.
Ugh,
Yeah, you did help to pull them up.
You weaklings.
All right, Morris, you also suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Ugh.
Too bad you weren't a bard, Joe. You could like inspire him to not be exhausted.
Oh, but I am a bard.
Are you a bard? Are you a bard or are you a rogue?
Of course I'm a bard. Why would you think I'm not a bard?
Because your picture.
I told you that's a placeholder. We'll find something for him. He described himself as a man in robes.
You haven't seen me do anything except be very charming.
You are a charming rogue who's snaking behind us. You're a giggly motherfucker.
a giggly motherfucker. What?
I think it means strange.
No,
Uh-huh.
giggly. He's like,
Alright, I'd like to walk onward and get away from this conversation. Let's start heading to the elves so we can cure what's her name and what's his name and
and
Magic Dude in our party.
me and Magic Dude. I like it.
All right, so
I mean,
this
Mage
whole
Hand
process,
Dude who doesn't do shit.
this
Not
whole
my
process
fault.
has taken a few hours because it took Morris about 2 hours to climb the cliff face,
Yes, and it was difficult.
and it was difficult and tiring, and everybody coming up here has collectively probably taken around another 2 hours or so. So you guys, it's definitely past noon now.
Can I
It's
take a
not-
short rest and cure my exhaustion?
exhaustion is not cured on a short rest. You need a long rest to do that.
I was hoping this could be like a special occasion. Okay, that's fine.
So the group continues inland towards the Silver Spear Glades, the village of the elves. Who's leading the way?
We need new map.
I guess I'll lead the way.
I'll follow behind him.
If we are on a new map, that's
I'll bring up a new map when it's relevant. Morris
Rear.
or Mindardus, who's leading?
I'll lead.
And I'll bring up the rear.
You have
Alright.
you have to use your imagination. I know it's difficult, but I
Survival
trust
check, Morris.
somewhere in your head.
you talking to me?
Yeah.
Actually,
have
survival
quite
check
the
with
good
advantage, because I'm
imagination.
going to say Mindardus could have helped you.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, that's good.
I'm pretty proficient in survival.
Oh, wait.
anyways.
But you have disadvantage, so they cancel out. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's what it is.
that's fine. I'm fine with that number.
Yep, it's still fine. It's still enough. So you are able to eventually make your way inland, and you don't intercept the river that was leaving the Elven village at the exact same point. You intercept it at a different point.
Do I see the remnants of my raft anywhere?
You do see a
God
bit of
damn it.
flotsam and detritus that has kind of pulled into a small eddy, and it's just nothing but splintered wood at this point. But it's vaguely reminiscent of the things you botched together to make a raft for yourself.
I'm
dear.
proud of you, Bodie McBoatface.
Oh dear, it looks like there's been some sort of crash. I wonder if there are any survivors nearby.
I survived.
Peter
My
I'm
outing
s-
real big.
I'm so mad that they didn't let the Bodie McBoatface thing go through. I mean, I understand that they wouldn't, but I was still kind of mad.
Did you hear what Google did?
Yeah,
What, Google did?
McParseface.
They released their voice recognition software, and they released it for free, and they called it Parsi McParseface.
Parsi McParseface? Excellent. Go Google.
I still love that Nintendo thing you sent me on Twitter earlier.
That was so stupid.
Link?
I liked it.
So as the party is continuing to travel inland, you eventually do intercept this river and you start to follow it in a southward direction, climbing on a very slight incline, but it's a pretty constant incline, so the going is a little bit slow. But eventually you do start to enter a region of the forest that is a little bit more homogeneous. There's more of just one kind of tree. And as you get closer and closer, some of these trees, their bark begins to display a kind of reflective or iridescent quality. And Honos, you do manage to notice this gradual change in the foliage as you guys are going further and further to the south, until eventually the sound of the rushing water is a bit louder. And you come to a fork in this river that then opens out around a small, or a relatively small, village, but it is beautifully crafted, and all the trees in this area are distinct because they have a very tall, smooth silver trunk. And I mean, they look exactly like trees, but you swear that these trees are made out of silver. But the craftsmanship is incredible. They look like real trees. The bark has normal texture and organic lines to it. The leaves themselves are a very deep shade of green, and they just form a dense network. The branches actually spreading outwards and seemingly forming another tier or floor above the ground in certain patches of this village. And you can see the whole thing is kind of framed by these two rivers that meet and then continue off in the direction that you approached from.
It's pretty.
It is very pretty.
This is still out in the wilderness?
No, you are just starting to get to the Silver Spear Glades now. I just need to fucking find it. Oh my god, I got so many maps, guys. All of these maps.
Do you feel like a real DM?
I do, but I mean, like, half of this shit you guys haven't even found yet. It's just staring me in the face like it's taunting me. Like, oh, they haven't even made it here yet.
You
He
mean like
wasn't
this whole
already?
battle at like a fort that we could have done, but someone decided to run?
Where the fuck did I put?
We probably fucked up his shit again.
No, I'm trying to. Where the hell did I put this thing?
Did you check under the words elf village? I don't think you ever had a map of it. You had like this very vague map of it.
You had a river at the bottom, a little bridge.
And like this like stonework garden thing, but I think
Yeah.
that's about all you ever had of it.
Yeah, but I should still, like, that map should still be around here somewhere. But I can't even find that. Oh, I wonder. Nope, not there.
Paco.
Okay, I'm sorry guys, but I don't know where this thing went.
We'll live.
Okay, yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to roll with it. All right. So the party slowly manages to collect itself on the northern bank of this river. The river itself actually splitting and forking and traveling around the outside border of this elven village. The river itself is about. It's not flowing very, very rapidly. There's a relatively gentle current, but it seems to pick up very quickly as soon as it leaves the village. For some reason, the water in the immediate vicinity of the village is very calm. The river itself is about 15 feet across, and the embankment is roughly a meter down into the ground. So you'd have to cross and then climb up.
Can I run and jump?
You can. Everyone that wants to run and jump, make an athletics check or an acrobatics check.
Running and jumping.
How long is the distance?
You said athletics.
15
we can
feet
do?
across.
Athletics.
15?
Athletics or acrobatics. Keep in mind that Mindardus and Morris are at disadvantage.
Yeah, I don't care. I rolled disadvantage on my first roll, anyways.
Yeah,
I can
guess
swim
I'll
the rest of the way.
I'm gonna jump too.
Because evidently you get exhaustion from anchoring a rope.
Fuck me.
And
Do I?
hauling up a party of what?
Oh my god. Oh
You
my
guys
seriously
god.
think-
I
seriously
I
think
forgot its name, but I think I'm his descendant.
are you the
Will
new
Wheaton's
Wheaton?
descendant, yes. Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure like Drax started the night with a roll of 7, and every roll since then has been sequentially one number lower.
No, I got an 11.
Okay, so
Fuck you, Mindardus.
alright, so here's how,
saves
here's
us
how this
all.
goes down.
He hugs us as he jumps over, and we all manage.
No, he
to-
gets
I'm
disadvantage.
disadvantaged.
Oh.
Yeah, he has disadvantage, which is unfortunate.
It's okay. Exhaustion would never affect me, so I have that.
I'm not convinced this beer is a 9%. I think it's closer to like 11 or 12. I swear to God it is.
Elo, shut up.
I'm gonna. Do I see the city?
You do see the village. You're quite close to it now. There's nothing. There's just the river between you and it.
I'm gonna
You're in a short walk.
go try and look around and find an easier way across. I'll say I'll meet you guys in the village.
I say
Alright.
okay as I drift down the stream.
So Honos, you begin to walk outward along the embankment of the river. So Theon and Lola both take running starts, and Theon actually he missteps and loses his footing a little bit. The attempt to recover some of his balance actually manages to throw Lola off balance, and the two of them topple over the edge of the embankment with very little momentum, and with 2 relatively loud splashes, they land in the water itself. It's not. It's deep enough that you submerge for a moment, but as you pull yourself up, it is really, really easy to swim. Like, it's a very, very gentle current.
Sploosh. That's how I feel in my nether region sometimes.
Yeah.
Sploosh.
And Lola actually is kind of taken off guard by this and laughs a little bit and actually splashes water a little bit at you, Theon.
Reverse pedophile. Hey, Trek.
So Theon reaches up and shoves Lola's head under the water for a moment, and she bobs back up and just sprays water out of her mouth, just up into the air. Clearly, she's actually seemingly having fun. With this, Urun and Mindardus both deftly leap up and over. Let's see, yours was 10? Okay. So Mindardus, Urun, and Morris all manage to just run and leap, making it not across the embankment, but they do land on the other side of the river at the river's edge, and then climb themselves up over and onto the solid land across the embankment. Honos, as you continue to walk around the exterior of the village, it takes around 10 or so minutes, but you do manage to see that there is a much, much more swiftly moving river as kind of like a southern border of this.
You say that again?
So as you walk outward around the edge of the river, it seems like the entire village is encapsulated by these rivers, and aside from the rather gentle ones that seem to be forming the rest of the moat, there is a much more swiftly moving river, much wider, much more water along its southern edge.
I'm gonna go back to a gentle river and just try and wade across and keep my clothes above my head.
All right. So Theon, what are you doing to cross?
Wait, so you stripped naked and crossed the river with
Yep.
your clothes head above?
Seeing how
Oh.
me and Lola are just sitting there swimming peacefully, I'm just gonna swim to the embankment.
All right. So Lola managing to doggy paddle her way there, and Theon also swimming across.
I was expecting you to go make an athletics check with disadvantage.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Like I said, I am immune to disadvantage and exhaustion. If you always get the lowest roll, what does it do anyway?
So the three of you successfully manage to make your way across the river, and you arrive in the Elven village. Honos, you make it across the river and slowly get your clothes back on. And as you climb up the edge of the embankment, you are standing at the edge of a village you've never been to.
What?
I'm gonna go looking for someone in charge.
All right, you enter the village and begin to kind of wander around, and there are a variety of different features that are sorry, big yawn. There are a variety of features that are kind of strewn about the layout of the village. You do happen to notice that these silver trees are everywhere here, and they almost form the structures of the village. There seem to be people that kind of live within the canopy of this small area. And amongst the elven villages, the elven settlements you've seen before, there are some similarities, but none quite this directly incorporating nature, at least to my knowledge. And as you reach a very large promenade, you see a very intricately carved stone structure in the center of this area that serves as a rudimentary fountain, but it's very, very prominent in terms of its stonework. But there's only one small spout of water that pours out into a small pool at the foot of a few of these children that are carved in very, very accurate likeness. You do recognize the familiar faces of the individuals you traveled here with as they come out from around the outside edge of this statue, and the whole group of you reconnect inside the Elven village. And I say that's where we wrap it up for today. I'm quite tired.
Sounds good.